Hello. Hi, Sugar Dragons. Hi, Phoenix. Hi, Crazy Shark. Hi, Beaner Dragon. Hello. Oh, no, I didn't. Cool. Hi, Liminal. That was a really amazing long live stream Liminal did. Hi, Blood Angel Dragon. Yes, 4 hours. Oh, you have to go. Bye, Phoenix. It's 1 a.m. for you? Oh. Let me see here. Where's... Oh, my other pin fell back down here. It's 11 for you? It's 10 for me. 10, 20. Hopefully I can finish this puppet and release it tomorrow. Sanguine? Sanguine? Me need me beauty sleep. Wow. Your drawing is so cool, being a dragon of Zorgo and... Oh, hi, Infected. Hi, Moonlight, Moonlit, Lunaria Dragons. Hi, Smiles. Hi, Neo, the spider. 1 a.m. Oh. Alright, now I gotta color it. It's all inked. Oh, except this part. Hi, Crystal Dragons. Hi, Toxic. It's, Magic Hands. Hi, Cats. Nightmare. Love drawing Zorgo and Glacier. Yay. Let me see. I should be packing for a trip. Liminal, you need to lock in and pack for your trip. Alright, I'm going to color this. You have a headache because you didn't sleep for a while? Oh no. Alright. Oh, cool, I saw that, I think. Thank you, Crystal Dragons. Alright. I need to find... Okay, I think that's where this goes. Hi, Kinos. Hi, Starwolf. Yeah, I'm making a puppet. Hi, Gaia. Oh. Oh, okay, Liminal. Oh, YouTube doesn't let you go live. That's sad. The marker brand is Ohuhu. Yeah, it is a new puppet designed by Storm Skills. Hi, Tinny. Oh, this pen feels like it's running out of marker of ink. Oh dear. Well, I'm basically done coloring the part that needs it. Just color. Draw that part. Sashimi, hi. Hi, oh, maybe you should go to bed, Sugar Dragons. The puppet is looking amazing. Thank you. I'm making a puppet like this. Sleep. That's what Sugar. Hi, Stan. Sugar Dragons should do. And hello. What was I gonna say? Hi, Gattaca Player Mark makes edits. Yeah, Stan was one of the first people who watched my live streams last year. Yeah, Giancarlo Sanchez actually came to a live stream yesterday. He wanted me to draw a monkey for him. G, okay. What kind of edits do you make, G? What? Oh, why you were watching my live at? Oh, yeah, 3 a.m. Yeah, I was about to fall asleep. Uh, 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 um. Oh, wait. I was confused. Sorry, I'll get back here. Um, Random edits. Cool. What puppet are you making? I start bringing headphones. I'm making a puppet designed by. You finally finished your puppet? Cool. I'm making a puppet designed by Storm Skills. Hi, Celestial Ducky. Wow. What's those? It's like this. See? Or like this. Oopsie dizzy. Wow. Are you gonna release your puppet tomorrow? Shishimi. I'm making a puppet inspired by Kelpton. Cool. Read a scripture. Well, I did read a psalm on. Oh, thank you, Solstice Ducky. What was I gonna say? I read a psalm on the earlier live. I did a live stream before dinner. I gotta try this. So it's how you make a so this is how you make a dragon puppet. Hi, Solar Eclipse. You have 7 puppets in progress. Wow. All right, now we gotta move on to the. Oh, actually, we gotta color this part. Hi, Silly Flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now, I gotta use this part. From the pressure that surrounds you. That's good, Cat's Nightmare. That's really cool. Your iPad is much better for audio. Because your other audio did not sound good. You made a. Oh, wait. I miss Skywatcher, so I made this puppet, his sister. I hope Kiwi likes him. Cool. Okay. Let's see. I think it's a mix of this and then and this. Let's see. Come to Fresno. Hi, H. Habibalian. Hi. Oh, I never read your name before. But hello. Wait. So cool. Thank you. I'm gonna leave now. Oh, bye, Gaia. I hope Dinosaur Dude comes. Oh, here's the one. Here's the pin I was looking for. I think it's both of these together. There we go. Hi, Cal, Kaliana. Hi. Your dragons are really cool, by the way. Thank you, Pinky Winky. Hi, Rainy Dragons. Wait, remember when we would joke around on live and we would laugh all the time? Yeah. Yes, these are 2 colors. I'm currently designing OCs, and this lad is old, so I have to give them wrinkles. Wow. Hello. Hello, Ace of Spades. Can we do that again? Yeah, we should. If there is something funny. My phone is old. That's why it's so bad. Oh. Yeah, I don't use my speaker. I use headphones. I mean, my mic. You're infected. You're infected on the other account. Okay. Yeah, I'll be reading Freddy the Pig. If Toonsy comes. Or I guess I could read it if... I'll read it after I work on this for a while. Yeah, I'm just not interested in dragons anymore. I see. Yeah, I don't know if I'll make many more dragons, really. Like, after this one. Because I need to focus on my other project, my comic project. To find your own shooting star. Let me see here. Every hour, every day, on my soul. Oh, okay, I still love dragons, but I'm trying other things. I'm going to do a face reveal at 230 subs so I can vlog. I don't know about y'all, but the mini cooking videos are tough. Like, videos, what do you mean? Hi, Billy Bob Roblox, for real. Thank you. What mini cooking videos? What mini cooking videos? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Welcome back. You mean like where it's like they have like everything is miniature and they're cooking like that? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure like if you're saying like miniature or like hi Doodle Beans. Why is Walby green? Because it's St. Patrick's Day. Hi White Lily. What am I making? A dragon puppet. I wonder if Toons is gonna come. Worlds apart. Yeah, it is Doodle Beans. Here we stand. Worlds apart, hearts broken in two. Hi, besties. Hi, Kayla. Thank you. I keep making angel dragons. I literally can't make anything other than angel dragons. Cool. Walby Walmart. Wow. Mr. Beast. Wait, you're right. Oh, thank you, White Lily. It kind of looks like Mr. Beast, right? Like Mr. Beast's logo. But it'll look different when it's done, but... Wait. Wait, this is you, Stan? That's so tough. You subbed? Thank you, besties. You broke your leg. Stan, Tristan in the chat. Caught between confusion and pain. 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 Hopefully this works for the highlight. What am I doing? That's wrong. Well, okay. It's not really gonna matter because it's gonna be colored over, but you got 117 subs? That's so cool. Thank you, HB. What do I call you? Blossom 3.0 was inspired on your fan art that you put on your wall. Oh, really? Wait, who? Me? GD? Okay. Oh, sorry, you were talking to Beaner Dragon? No. Yeah, yes, Sunny. It is. Should we light the candle? For moral support. Really? Oh, there we go. You're a dragon puppeteer? Cool, Goob. Here. Here's the candle. Okay. I also make dragons, but you just started? Cool, besties. I ain't that mean, guys, trust me. I was gonna have my dragon Azrael be 900 sub special, but now I've already reached 900, so I should be at a 1k special. Cool. Oh, Blood Angel Dragon. I can check when your order is gonna get there. If you want. I made one today and it keeps falling apart. Oh, that's rough. Yo, I always wondered how those were made. I'm not really a part of the community, but I see videos, these hand things all the time. Yeah, when I saw those videos first, I was very confused about how people made them. I'm still confused, cause like, I'm not really sure. Like, until it's finished being made, I'm kind of. I don't know if it works. Like, I don't know if it's gonna work every time. So, um, hi, Cool Kira. Hi, Phoenix. Thank you, Lona. Uh, wait, Blood Angel Dragon, are you there? I was gonna make my 1k Kimara. Should we write that down? Beyond the stars, I'll do anything, anything you wish me to. Say you want the moon, watch me learn to fly, in a mountain no point to. I what if I don't have a cardboard, but I will. Look. I wish it all for you. Wait, where's is Blood Angel Dragon here still? See, look. Okay, can you see what happens? It looks kind of weird when you color over markers, color over each other. Chaos. Hi. Oh, bye, Lona. Evil Red. Hello. Guys, it's chaos. Why is Walry turning into 2? It's green because it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Okay, I'm going to read. Could someone, Kiwi, could you share the live and tag, Toonsy? It's also your cat's birthday? Whoa. Happy birthday to Chaos's cat. Alright, I'm just going to color over this part, and then... Wait, Shishimi? Would you be able to do that? Share the live stream and tag Toonsy if you want to, or if it's okay. If you don't mind. Or if anyone wanted to. Because I'm going to read the book. There's nothing I won't do. Oh, yay, thank you. Okay. Oh. What's the most frustrating thing? I guess, okay. Unless, sometimes it's drawing the other side, unless it's like an interesting, enjoyable other side. So like, this is the other side. You have to make 2 sides, right? So like, this is the front side, and this is the other side. So if you're just drawing the same thing again for the other side, then that's frustrating. You don't have hot glue? Making it? Oh yeah, getting burnt by hot glue. That's not nice. Not ice cubes. Hi. Thank you. Not a worry in the world, staring at stars out on my trampoline. Okay, this is the place for the highlights. Oh dear, okay. Why is my profile picture green? It's because it's St. Patrick's Day. Blood Angel Dragon, oh, you're back. Your channel is really cool, and you shouldn't give up, like what you're saying about, that you think that your puppets are more, are not like the, like most people's puppets, so you think that your channel is not growing as fast, but yeah. Hi, Lily. Hello. Thank you, nonchalant Mo. All right. Imagine Toonsy Summers. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll color over this part. Growing up's not getting old. GD. Okay. On a smile. Does anyone have any pets? I have a pet rabbit. And we had all the answers. You do? I miss Pat. You have 2 cats and 2 dogs. Wow. You have a puppy? That's cool. You have a corgi? You have dogs? I have cats, dogs, and chicken. Wow. You have a pet turtle? You have 2 cats, a silver beagle named Brownie, and one is a brown beagle named Kip. Cool. Georgie. Oh, wait, you have a dog named Georgie, right? Like in the story. Okay, I'm not sure how to do this part yet, so. But it turns out that the hardest part of growing up's not getting old. You have 179 subscribers. Whoa, good job. You have to go in like 4 minutes? Oh no. Wow, Blood Angel Dragon. Wait, Blood Angel, should I check when your order is coming? When your order is gonna arrive? I think I shipped it. I don't remember when. Hi, wait. Hi, Crazy Shark. You posted a video? Cool. I'm trying to find the. He has no right slot for that. I'm entirely correct. Even when I try, You don't believe it. We do this every time. Seasons change and our love went cold. Ooh, flame, but we can't let go. Run away, 'cause we're running in circles. Run away, I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, run away, run away. There we go. Thursday. It's arriving in 2 days. Alright, anyways. Hi, Gaia. You have a friend on your paper? Oh dear. Is there an ant? And our love went cold. With the flame, but we can't let go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Check the video out. Oh, bye, Jennifer. Something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Wow, that's cool. That's a video from Stan. Okay, I'm going to Dr. Pepper. Hi, Dr. Pepper. Hi, Pomegranate. Alright, I'm going to read the book. Let's read the... Oh, dear. Let's read the next chapter. So far, this is a book about this character, Freddy the Pig. You subscribe to my channel? Thank you. This book is called The Clockwork Twin by Walter R. Brooks. And so what happened so far is there's a boy named Adoniram, and there's a dog named Georgie. Adoniram is a boy who grew up on a farm, and a big flood came, and he was rescuing this dog from the flood named Georgie. The dog's named Georgie, and then they both got swept away in a house that was getting swept away, and then they got by rainy dragons. And then they found this. Then right now they're in a abandoned department store, and they met two characters. They met Jinx and Freddy the Pig. They met Jinx the Black Cat and Freddy the Pig. All right, let's read. Let's read chapter 3. The Escape from Snare Forks. Oh, you're gonna leave very soon because you're almost arrived. Okay. All right. Let's read. Here's a picture. There are lots worse places to be shipwrecked in than a department store. For 3 days, the water stayed at the same level. Then it began to drop slowly, an inch or so every hour. But the animals were in no hurry to get away, and neither was Adoniram. He had a grand time. At home, he had never had any fun or anything very good to eat, and he had never had any time to play with the other children he went to school with. Just a second. Let me move this chat over here. Alright, here we go. But now, with these animals who laughed and talked and played games and told stories all day long, he was really happy. The first time he laughed out loud, Freddy looked at him sharply and said, "We'll have to oil up that laugh of yours, Adoniram. I guess you haven't used it much. It squeaks like an old rusty hinge." Oh, bye, Gaia Dragons. So twice a day, Freddy would give him laughing lessons. The pig would sit down and tell jokes until Adoniram laughed good and hard, and then he would laugh with him for as long as they could keep it up. At first it took 4 or 5 pretty good jokes to get the boy started, but after a day or two his laugh began to get loosened up, and finally, when he laughed 10 minutes at a rather poor joke, Freddy said he guessed that was enough. "You don't want to be one of these people who laugh too much," said the pig. They lived most of the time in the furniture department. They moved the furniture around so that each one of them had a room with a bed and a table and a radio. The chat is quieter than my class. Wow. Okay. 3 big comfortable chairs and anything else they wanted. Freddy had a desk in his, and from the stationery department, he brought all sorts of paper and envelopes and pencils and blank books to make notes in, and a typewriter. He could use the typewriter too, unlike most pigs. I have to go. Oh, bye, Beaner Dragon. Swept away by a flood named Georgie. Yeah, that's what I was afraid people were gonna think. Hi, GD. He could use the typewriter too, unlike most pigs. He used to sit there a good deal, tapping out poetry and letters to the friends at home. Of course, they were never mailed, but as Freddy said, that didn't matter, because most of his friends couldn't read anyway. Jinx's room was, as you would expect, full of squishy, soft cushions, and he had. I wish Toonsy was here. I don't know if I should wait till read it till next time, but okay. So Jinx is a cat, so that's why he likes lots of squishy, soft cushions. And he had a cupboard full of mechanical mice that he used to wind up and chase for exercise. Spawn Toonsy. Victoria, cats and dragons. Hi. They fixed up rooms for the room for the newcomers, and in Adoniram's was a wonderful table that opened up and was full of all kinds of games. They had put a bed in Ronald's room. Ronald is the rooster. Gaia's not here anymore. She just left. We're reading this book, The Clockwork Twin. It's a Freddy the Pig book from the Freddy the Pig book series. Oh, I'm sorry. So, Ronald is the rooster, and although roosters usually sleep on a perch, he slept in the bed, where he could be covered up. But it didn't work very well because he couldn't seem to manage the pillow, which kept falling down on top of him and nearly smothering him. So he gave it up and perched on the footboard. Every evening they had a banquet. They would go down about 6 o'clock to the grocery department and look. Toonsy! Let me start. Over here. Sorry, Toonsy. I just said I didn't know if I should read it of Toonsy. No, I'll read it. There are lots of worse places to be shipwrecked in than a department store. For three days, the water stayed up at the same level. Then it began to drop slowly, an inch or so every hour. But the animals were in no hurry to get away. Neither was Adoniram. He had a grand time. At home, he had never had any fun or anything very good to eat, and he had never had any time to play with the other children he went to school with. But now, with these animals who laughed and talked and played games and told stories all day long, he was really happy. The first time he laughed out loud, Freddy looked at him sharply and said, "We'll have to oil up that laugh of yours, Adoniram. I guess you haven't used it much. It squeaks like an old rusty hinge." So, what? Wow. Hi, Astro. Okay. Okay. So twice a day, Freddy would give him laughing lessons. The pig would sit down and tell jokes until Adoniram laughed good and hard, and then he would laugh with him for as long as they could keep it up. At first, it took 4 or 5 pretty good jokes to get the boy started, but after a day or two, his laugh began to get loosened up, and finally, when he laughed 10 minutes at a rather poor joke, Freddy said he guessed that was enough. You don't want to be one of these people who laugh too much, said the pig. They lived most of the time in the furniture department. They moved the furniture around so that each one of them had a room with a bed and a table and a radio and 2 or 3 big comfortable chairs and anything else he wanted. Freddie had a desk in his, and from the stationery department he brought all sorts of paper with and envelopes and pencils and blank books to make notes in and a typewriter. He could use the typewriter too, unlike most pigs. He used to sit there a good deal, tapping out poetry and letters in the friends at home to the friends at home. Of course, they were never mailed, but as Freddie said, that didn't matter because most of his friends couldn't read anyway. Jink's room was, as you would expect, full of squishy, soft cushions, and he had a cupboard full of mechanical mice that he used to wind up and chase for exercise. They fixed up rooms for the newcomers, and in Adoniram's was a wonderful table that opened up and was full of all kinds of games. They had oh bye bye Lily. It's been so many years since someone's read you a book. Okay, you're falling asleep. Okay, Toonsy. Okay, Sashimi has a question. Will you ever open commissions? Would you possibly have dragons for sale by May? Maybe on Easter. Well, yay. Okay. All right. So then it talks about how Ronald. Okay, they had put a bed in Ronald's room, and although roosters usually sleep on a perch, he thought that because of his cold, he had better sleep in the bed, where he could be covered up. But it didn't work very well, because he couldn't seem to manage the pillow, which kept falling down on top of him and nearly smothering him. So he gave it up and perched on the footboard. Every evening they had a banquet. They would go down about 6 o'clock to the grocery department and look along the shelves, picking out the things they wanted for dinner. Then Adoniram would open all the cans and boxes and jars, and they would spread them out on a long counter and start in. Sometimes there were as many as 18 courses. Of course, they all ate too much, but animals have more sense than humans about eating, and Adoniram was the only one that got sick. That was on the first day, and you can't really blame him for eating until his eyes bulged. Most anybody would do the same. After that, he took Freddy's advice and ate more sensibly. Oh, oddly, hi. What is this? This is Freddy the Pig, the Clockwork Twin. Okay. Alright, let's see. It was a pretty pleasant life. There were all sorts of games. Okay, oh, let me explain the book really quickly. So far in the story, there's this boy, Adoniram, who lived on a farm, and he got swept away on this summer house in a big flood that came, and then he found this dog named Georgie and this rooster named Ronald, and now they're in a department store that is abandoned because the first floor was flooded, and they met Freddy the Pig and Jinx the cat in the department store. All right. All right, I'll try to read really quickly so I can finish it and so it's not too late. Anyways, they even gave a play in costumes from the children's wear department. Freddie wrote it for them. It was a detective play, and he said it was based on some actual experiences of his own. Of course, he added quite a lot to these because besides detectives and burglars and watchmen, he had a lot of historical characters in it. Roman soldiers and President Hoover and Lafayette and Napoleon. That made it confused, but lots of fun. Okay. Ronald quite blossomed out on the stage. He was he was he was splendid as Napoleon, but the most fun for Adoniram was exploring the store. He found the toy department where there were hundreds of games and airplanes. Guys, this is a really cool book. Like Freddy the Pig books. I love Freddy the Pig books. Not Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon the Great. Um, they have like multiple storylines that all connect in a really exciting way at the end of the book. It seems like, guys, like Freddy the Pig, just when I heard about it the first time, it seemed really um it's lagging every 5 seconds. Oh, that's weird. It seemed like a really like you know, a really like a I don't know, simple thing, but anyways. What? the cor- the lady who eats cornstarch? Okay. He could always run. Okay. He found a sporting goods department crammed with guns and fishing tackle and bicycles and nets and camping outfits and practically everything you can use outdoors. And when he got tired of these, he could go down to the book department and there were thousands of brand new storybooks full of pictures. And he could always run down to the bakery for a pocket full of cookies or a slice of cake. Probably it was just as well for him that the candy department was on the ground floor under 6 feet of water. On the ninth morning, they heard the noises in the street and the sound of men shouting. They looked out and saw that the water was gone, and through the deep gray mud that covered everything, half a dozen men in hip boots were clumping along. Time to go, boys. Oh, I thought that was one of the men. Have I? Yeah, I saw that. Time to go, boys, said Freddy. They'll be opening for business in a day or two now, and they won't want us around. We'll start in an hour. And now the question is, you three have lost your homes, so why don't you come home with us? Sure, said Jinx. Mr. Bean can always use an extra dog and extra rooster around the place. The farmer's name is Mr. Bean. Mr. Um okay. I forget. Benjamin or William Bean. I forget. Anyways. Okay. Yeah, the cornstarch lady. She sits there with like a big tub of cornstarch and just eats huge spoonfuls of it. All right. Mr. Bean can always use an extra dog and extra rooster around the place, and he'd like to have you, too, added Niram. You see, Mr. and Mrs. Bean haven't any children of their own, although they always wanted some. A few years ago, they adopted a boy and girl that rescued from a terrible place up in the North Woods, but now Ella and Everett have gone abroad for a year with Mrs. Bean's sister, and the Beans are alone again. We've been hoping we could find anybody to take their place, but most children wouldn't want to leave their families, even if their families would let them. But from what you said, I don't expect you'd go back home much, do you? No, said Adoniram, I don't. But, well, they're my uncle and aunt. Maybe they're worried. Maybe they're looking for me. I guess I ought to go back. Well, you know best about that, said Freddy. We won't try to persuade you. But if you change your mind, then there's always a home for you on the Bean farm. Come on now, get your stuff together. Beans. Hi, hi, Beans. Sorry if I sometimes go away like that. Oh, okay. It's okay. In less than an hour, they were ready for the road. The animals had put on their pockets, which were bulging with supplies from the grocery department, and they had even fixed a pair of pockets for Ronald, which he had loaded up with puffed rice and a couple of seed rolls. The, um, the garment was much too large for him. It hunched over the shoulders and dragged on the ground, so that except for the tail feathers sticking out behind, he looked like a very small boy wrapped up in a large shawl. Adoniram had thought that he oughtn't to take anything but food with him, but Freddy said that he was sure the store people wouldn't mind if he outfitted himself with things that he really needed for the trip. Okay. So he wore rubber boots and a slicker and carried on his back a knapsack in which he had packed plenty of food, a change of clothing, and a few things he might need if he camped out. Matches, a scout knife, a mess kit, and so on. A regular swamp, exclaimed Freddy as they came carefully down the slimy stairs to the ground floor, which was just inches deep in gray mud. Hop on my back, Ronald, and Adoniram put Jinx on your shoulder, and can they can never get through this. Indeed, it was almost impossible for the boy and the pig to get through. The mud sucked at their feet and hampered them so that they were 10 minutes getting to the door. Outside, however, it was not so bad. The water was still running off, cutting little rivulets through the slime, and by walking in the flowing water, they had easier going. You commented on your own video and you got a notification? Wow. Freddy led the way, and at first they met no one, but they were going uphill. I think it's about to get exciting. So, pretty soon they got into a part of the city where the flood had not been so deep. Here, men were busy repairing houses and washing down the streets with fire hose, but nobody paid much attention to them, and it wasn't until they got out into dry streets above flood level that they saw a rope stretched across the street in front of them and several policemen on the ground. "Hey, boy," shouted one of the policemen. Come out of there." "Don't let 'em know we can talk," muttered Freddy as they went forward. "Don't you know you aren't allowed inside the flood lines?" demanded the policeman. "Where'd you get those things? You know you can be put in jail for stealing inside the lines." "I didn't steal them," said Adoniram. "That remains to be seen," said the policeman, taking out a notebook and very small pencil. "In the meantime, you'll answer a few questions. Name?" "Adoniram R. Smith." "Come again," said the policeman, licking the pencil. So Adoniram spelled his name 3 times, and at last the man wrote it down. Only he spelled it Anarodinum. And after he had licked the pencil again, he made a capital A bigger and blacker. He said, "What does the R stand for?" "It's a silly name," said Adoniram. "I don't ever use it." "All names are silly," said the policeman. "Come on, what is it?" "I don't want to tell," said the boy. Refuses to give name," said the policeman, and wrote that down. "Residence?" "Snare Forks." "Snare Forks," exclaimed the policeman. "Never heard of it. You know where it is, Mike? Ed? Elmer? Any of you?" You sang your cat a lullaby and he fell asleep? R stands for Ricky? Wow. Okay. And when all the other policemen shook their heads, he licked the pencil and wrote, "Gives false address." While this was going on, the animals had edged closer and closer to the rope, and all at once, Freddy yelled, "Come on, boy," and dove between the policeman's legs, upsetting him into the street. So Freddy just dove through the policeman's legs. Is there a picture of it anywhere? He just toppled the policeman over. Hi, Sammy, the short. Okay. The animals ran, and Adoniram tried to follow them, but the policeman named Elmer caught him by the tail of his slicker. The first policeman scrambled to his feet. "Ha!" he exclaimed. "Resisting arrest, eh? Where's my pencil? Catch those animals, boys." "Let 'em go, Sarge," said Elmer. "They'll find their way back to their owners, I expect. But where's my pencil?" Pyrite? It's underrated? They'll find their way back to their owners, I expect. Okay. Where's my pencil? What's the matter with you men? Here, we catch a dangerous criminal with dozens of charges against him. Pig stealing, cat stealing, dog stealing, rooster stealing, boot stealing, slicker stealing, and thank goodness knows what else. Oh, thank goodness? No, it just says goodness knows what else. Anyways. Stand around and what do? Stand around and gawp. I don't know what GAWP means, but anyways. You look like policemen. You're dressed up like policemen. You wear badges and carry stickers. Oh my goodness. Carry sticks. And take the city's pay, and there isn't one of you that can keep track of a little thing like a pencil. Bah, you make me ashamed of the force. Excuse me, said Adoniram, but I noticed when you fell down, and I think you swallowed the pencil. What? He shouted the sergeant, turning pale. Except for the black marks around his mouth, where he had licked the pencil lead, he stared at the boy. Then, um, um, he stared at the boy, then suddenly clutched his stomach. Carry on, Elmer, he said, and bolted into the police station. Well now, Adoniram, said Elmer, suppose you just tell us your story in your own way. Don't mind the sergeant. He's kind of impetuous and great on rules, but his heart is in the right place. For some reason, there was a live where you put your name in 3 colors, and the guy will spin art, and there were 2K people, but I got chosen? Oh, wow. That's neat. All right. So, um, yeah. So his pencil, said another policeman. That'll do, Mike, said Elmer sternly. Now, boy. So then Adoniram told his story, though he didn't say much about the animals. And when he had finished, Elmer said, "Well, we'll have to find out where Snarefork is, and then try to get in touch with your folks and send them back to home. In the meantime, come into the station house. We'll fix you up a cup of cocoa. We'll take care of you all right. But I didn't mean to steal anything. Really, I didn't," said Adoniram. "I'm sure you didn't," said Elmer. "And what's more, the sergeant is sure of it, too. But, you see, he likes to scare people. He thinks people ought to be afraid of policemen, so they won't commit crimes. I don't agree with him there. I don't think scaring people does any good. But anyway, you haven't anything to worry about." So Adoniram stayed in the police station for 4 days. He quite got to like the sergeant, who, when he wasn't suspecting you, was a nice person, and you was a nicer person you cared to meet, and full of exciting stories about police work. But Adoniram missed the animals. They were the only real friends he had ever had. And when on the 5th day the sergeant told him that his uncle had been heard from, Rain, Rain Dragon Tamer. Hi. How are you doing? Yes, you haven't been for. What book am I reading? I'm reading Freddy the Pig, The Clockwork Twin. All right. Life is fine. That's good. Are you working on a puppet? What? Oh. Oh, I didn't notice that. Yes. This is the Clockwork Twin. Okay. So. All right. Where are we? All right. And that he was to be sent home on the train, he came very near crying, for he felt sure that he would never see Freddie and Jinx and Georgie and Ronald again. Adoniram changed at Winthrop to a bus which took him to Snareforks, but from there he had to walk for 3 miles home, because his uncle said he couldn't spare the time to meet him. And when he got home, he told his story. He got scolded for 2 hours and spanked for 5 minutes, which is much too long for anybody to be spanked, even a hardened criminal. And then his uncle said that since he didn't seem to care much for his home, but preferred to go wandering about the countryside, he would have to give up the room he had always had and sleep in the barn. So his uncle gave him a blanket and another short spanking to remember the first one. Bye, and sent him out to the barn. The barn was really much nicer than the house. The hay was soft, and sweet-smelling, and the moonlight came in through the wide doorway and splashed everything with mysterious silver light. The policeman had allowed Adoniram to keep the things he had taken from Waterman and Dinkelstein and Co., and although his uncle had taken most of them away from him, he still had the scout knife and the mess kit. He had kept them under a board in the barn floor, and at night he could take them out and polish them and play with them. But his uncle forced him to work harder than ever now, to make up for the time he had lost, so he didn't get much time to play. Every morning when he got up, he washed his face at the pump in the barn. It wasn't easy to do because his uncle wouldn't give him a basin to wash in, so he had to pump with one hand and wash with the other. His aunt wouldn't give him a towel either because she said he'd only get it dirty, so he had to dry off by going out and waving his arms around in the early morning sunshine. And he was doing this one morning after he had been home about a week and wishing he was back in Waterman Dinkelstein and Co.'s furniture department with his friends, when away up over the hill behind the house he heard a rooster crow. Now there was nothing unusual about this, for roosters were crowing all over the countryside that morning, but if you have made any study of roosters, you will know that no two of them crow exactly alike, and there was a funny squeak in the middle of this rooster's crow that was exactly like Ronald's, for although Ronald's cold had gone, it had left him with a very weak crow. Adoniram stopped waving his arms and listened, and in a minute the rooster crowed again. "Oh dear," said Adoniram, "I wish that was Ronald. Only, of course it can't be." Um, okay. But still, I wonder what a rooster is doing up here. There's nothing but woods over the hill. And so instead of going to the house to do the work he had to do before breakfast, he climbed up across the fields and to the top of the hill. At first he didn't see anything but more fields, sloping down toward the deep woods, and then on a stone wall about halfway down something fluttered and the rooster crowed 3 times, and at the same time in the grass in front of the wall he could just make out some animals moving. "It is Ronald!" Adoniram shouted, and galloped down the hill. The animals came forward to meet him. "Well, well," said Freddy. "What a time we've had finding you. All we knew was that you lived near Snare Forks, so we've been visiting every farm along the river, and poor Ronald has nearly worn his crow out. We were sure you'd recognize it, but it's a good thing we found you today, because he couldn't have lasted much longer." "I should say not," said Ronald. "You haven't a cough drop, have you? Have you, old chap?" My throat is raw." "Oh, I'm glad you came," Adoniram exclaimed. "I didn't think I'd ever see you again." "It's harder to get rid of friends than it is to make them," said Jinx. "And we wouldn't just run off that way and leave you. We were pretty sure they'd send you home. And what we really came for," said Georgie, "was to see if you wouldn't change your mind and come with us." I'm making a CG5 chain? Whoa, that's cool, Rain. And what? Yeah. "Yes," said Adoniram, "I will. My aunt and uncle don't like me, and I don't see why I should have to stay with them." "Hooray!" "Hooray!" said Jinx. Well, let's get going." "I can't go yet," said the boy. "My uncle would miss me, and he'd catch us being and he'd catch us and bring me back. And anyway, there are some things I want to take with me." So the animals agreed to wait in the woods the rest of the day, and when Adoniram came out to the barn to go to bed, they would meet him and start. Everything went smoothly. Adoniram got spanked again for being late for breakfast, but he managed to smuggle his knapsack and some clothing out of the house, and he got his scout knife and mess kit from under the barn floor and packaged everything up. And at 8 o'clock that night, when he came down to the barn, the animals were waiting. "We won't waste any time," said Freddy. "We'll have to travel all night. Well, travel all night because we want to be a long way from Snare Forks by daylight." So the travelers, each with his pack on his back, filed out the barnyard and up over the hill. Jinx led the way, because cats can see better in the dark than other animals. They cut down behind the woods and struck into a road. And then, as they trudged along, Freddy struck up the old marching song that he had made up when the animals took their first trip to Florida. Oh, it's over the it's over the hill and down the road, and we'll borrow the moon for a light. And wherever we go, one thing we know, the road will lead us right. If you start from home by any road and follow each dip and bend, with fortune you find, whether cold or kind, you find home again at the end. Oh, the roads run east and the roads run west, and it's lots of fun to roam. But when you know that whichever road you take, the road will lead you home. There we go. The next chapter 4, we'll read chapter 4 tomorrow. Yay, they're going to the bean farm. And here's Predator, the other side of Predator. Look, Rain, this is the dragon puppet that Storm Skills designed for me. Alright. I'm gonna try to release Predator tomorrow. Wait, we've been live streaming for 67 minutes. Thank you. Thank you, Rain. Artistic. Hi, Artistic. Oh. Alright, well, I have to go now. Sorry. Yeah, I hope I can release this puppet tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining. Sorry. I'll see you. Sorry, Artistic. Bye, everyone. See you.